the former executive team, former administration gave staff some specific guidelines to find property north of State Route 20 and adjacent to State Route 400. There was 5 or 6 different properties that were looked at. This piece of property was shortlisted, and there was some criteria that were given, and I went through this specifically with the board, and I don't remember those exact criteria, but we settled on this piece of property here, closed on the property, and immediately went to work on designing what had been programmed for a number of years prior. We talked about that early on in this discussion, that back in 2016, 17, and 18 is really when that programming and planning started. So we knew pretty good what size land we needed, and really what laid itself out the best was this site and those 3 or 4 that we looked at.
The big question that I think a lot of people have that are probably watching this video as we move into this facility is, what exactly happened when it came to the state law and being able to take action, for the board to be able to take action in this building, which we know is a very small part of the things that are going to be happening in this administration building, but still, nonetheless, very important to the process of moving the county forward and the board being able to take official action. So what exactly did occur there?
So there's an old 1800s law on the books in Georgia, and it references the county site, S-I-T-E. And for the sake of this conversation, think of it as the county seat, okay? And what that says is that the county site is where the county has to conduct its business. And you've heard me say this before. Henry Ford has come along since then, and we now have vehicles. There's the internet, and now we even have Starlink. We can get the internet from space, right? So I can make a really good argument that if we truly are trying to take our government to the people, right, and be more transparent, we should make it easier for them to get to us in a better space from a parking standpoint, more easily accessible, and that's what we've done here. So now going back to the when, right? So sometime after we closed on the property and shortly before we asked the board to move forward with this contract, it was the question was raised, and it was raised to our county attorney, and then he subsequently followed up with me, and then we followed up with the board members that there was this, I'm going to say, antiquated law. Now, right, our forefathers were pretty smart in the Constitution, right? But there are also reasons that it doesn't make a lot of sense to sort of follow by those. So what we did is we decided to move forward because you talked about it, that the administration building and the portion of that is being the county site, meaning the Board of Commissioners conducting their business. We think of that as the official board meetings. Mm-hmm. So our meetings were the first and third Thursday at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. That's generally what we're talking about. Okay, so a couple times a month is what we're talking about. This building, that only accounts for less than 1% of the daily activities that are going to occur in this building. We also knew that for an antiquated general law change, we were not the only person in the state that was dealing with this. I mentioned Coweta County. They're coming up to see us. They were in the same boat we were. There were 5 or 6 other counties across the state that were dealing with the same issue. Some of those counties elected to just say, okay, we're going to continue to operate in violation. We're not doing that, right? So we proceeded to go through a couple different legislative sessions, really trying to talk about what a general law change looked like that would allow counties to conduct their business where they see fit. I know I have spoken to several of our commissioners, and they think that sort of a roadshow of work sessions, if you will, from different community building to different community building, not our normal meetings, but our roadshow of work sessions, I think would make a lot of sense. The way the law is today doesn't allow for that. So there was a number of reasons why we tried to go down that road. All that to say, unsuccessful. 159 counties, over 500 cities in the state of Georgia. When you talk about something that affects 7 or 8 counties, it just doesn't resonate with the state legislature. Sure. I respect that. And I know, Russell, what your next question is going to be is, okay, well, if it's not annexed, then what, right? And if I'm answering that question, then what that means is a couple times a month, we're going to conduct board meetings in the exact same boardroom that we're meeting in today. The sheriff is going to hold that room for a number of reasons, mainly for training, but also there's no construction that's going to happen in there, so we'll conduct our meetings the same place we are now until such time we get it worked out. But I do want to remind you, and I want to remind everybody else, that that makes up less than 1% of the daily operations that are going to occur in this building.